Wow. All right, let's click into this and change our view. Ben says, I know who needs to hear this, but I'm not going to name names. Okay. If I write you an email with a work offer and there are other people copied on the email and you do not reply all, I will revoke the offer. It's absolutely insane that in 2024, so many people under the age of 40 know how to use advanced software programs but can't be bothered to hit reply all on an email. It wastes time, forces unnecessary follow up, and clogs people's inboxes. It is mind boggling to me that I have to include notes that say, please remember to reply all in professional emails when I'm the one trying to hire you. I understand accommodating people, but it's not my job to teach you professional email etiquette. That's not classism, it's just facts. And frankly, unless you've never had a job that requires you to communicate with people professionally and or are under the age of 25, you have no excuse. Take the time to learn what it means to be a professional, be aware and considerate of the people who work tirelessly to ensure you have opportunities to work and do better. Who knows, you might just get more work and money as a result. Okay. Um yeah, this was on r slash I think recruiting hell. Oh no, this is on LinkedIn Lunatics. And I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest. I know that other people in the comment section, um, I say, yeah, it's pretty standard. Reply all. If you can't people the right people in the loop at the offer level, will you do it as a member of the team? And then the next top comment is, this is so wrong. And then the next comment is, understanding how email works is a requisite skill for a lot of jobs. Yeah, no, I don't think that this is crazy. Um, if you're a professional and part of your job description is going to be the fact that you're going to communicate with people a lot over email, then I'm going to expect, I mean, your communication throughout the interview and offer process is all part of the interview. And if I need somebody that can communicate effectively via email on my team, and they repeatedly show me again and again throughout the process of me trying to hire them that they're not capable of effectively communicating via email, when that's a big part of their job, that's a red flag, and it may lead me to not want them on my team. Just like, for example, if I schedule a job interview with somebody and then somebody no call, no shows, and even after me, and it takes multiple follow ups from me to them to check in with them and see, hey, hope you're okay. And then I found out they were okay. They just missed and they forgot to come to the interview and they were embarrassed about it. Like that, just like that's also another reason why I may not want to hire somebody, because they, if they're not organized and they're not able to show up to an interview and they didn't have some extenuating circumstances causing that, then that says, okay, maybe this person isn't reliable enough to show up to work. Same like, again, the whole interview process is part of the process. So no, I don't think that this is crazy. Now, would I have worded it exactly the same way as Ben? Maybe not. Maybe so. I don't think it's that crazy of a post, to be honest. I think that it's pretty reasonable, and yeah. Again, keep now. One thing that I will grant is that for me personally, I use Gmail for my personal email, but I hardly ever send emails via Gmail. I pretty much almost exclusively use Outlook. And I know that I can set up my email in Outlook, and it's difficult. I don't really send enough emails to bother to set it up. But I will say that sometimes I have formatting issues whenever I occasionally email people using my personal Gmail or my email account that's associated with my podcast, because I'm just not used to using them, and I make mistakes. But as a recruiter, if you I'd say keep that in mind, is that maybe somebody is really not used to checking their personal email. Though, I mean, if they're on a job hunt, like an actual avid job hunt, they probably should be. And also, yeah, Ben puts a good point in saying that, yeah, and frankly, unless you've never had a job that requires you to communicate with people professionally and or are under the age of 25, you have no excuse. As a recruiter, if you're listening to this, I don't know if I have any recruiters in my audience, but yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind, especially if you're recruiting entry level people. It's good to keep in mind that maybe they don't know email etiquette and they haven't had the opportunity to learn it. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, what is he talking about? What do you mean email etiquette? It might be worth educating yourself on basic email etiquette. Learn what reply is, learn what carbon copying is and blind carbon copying is. That's one of the things that I learned in my first internship. It's a valuable skill, and one of the things that I try to impart on to the interns that I work with whenever I get to have the opportunity to cross paths with interns, because a lot of the college students, they don't know email etiquette. I learned not too long into my first internship what the difference between a carbon copy and a reply. I never had really understood that until somebody explained it to me after they didn't reply to one of my emails because they weren't in the reply to line and I didn't address them in the email. So yeah, just learning email etiquette is important, and I think that Ben is right to say that if he's expecting a professional that's capable of communicating well over email, then and they show that they're not, then that can be a red flag that comes up in the interview process. All right. Well, that was this week in LinkedIn Lunatics. We had one crazy one and not so crazy one in my views. But if you disagree, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Send me an email. Let me know how I'm so wrong and how I'm so evil for thinking that people should know email etiquette. Just let me know. Let me know down in the comments or send me a nasty email. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the communication. I like it all.
I'm miscommunicating. I just made a pilot, then they threw me on the stations. Now I'm not complaining. My thoughts get complicated, I cannot explain in lameness. Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.